Cortez?
Fuck. Let's fucking party, dog. Oh, I feel so fucking good. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Where you been?
I've been in the fucking woods. Fucking with your boy. You know him.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, 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 no shit. Uh, that big black nigga been out in the woods fucking scaring the shit out of me. And I don't even know who he is. I don't know shit. I just know my whack ass trailer, and I've been in there talking to the devil like it ain't nothing. You woke up the wrong motherfucker.
What?
Sean?
Sean, what the fuck, man? Yo, that motherfucker took my life, dog. What the fuck? Yo, I don't know what's happening, man. What's going on? Yo, he want your shit, nigga. He want all that shit, nigga. You gotta give it to him. That nigga's so pissed, dog. And he just like you. If you don't get that shit up, he gonna take that shit. That's a greedy motherfucker, dog. That's a greedy... Yo, that nigga gonna kill me just for talking to you. He gonna kill me, dog. No, that shit can't happen. You owe him, nigga. He pissed, dog. He pissed.
Give me your shit, nigga!
Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Back again with another article. Know you guys miss me, man. Anyway, like I said, I'm continuing that streak of trying to get all of the volume 1s of my series. Bro, that word sounds so weird to me. I'm gonna look that word up before I do my next article to make sure that that's actually a word, because it just sounds like weird to me. I don't know. But anyway, my culture creation series is actually one of my favorite genres or grouping of articles that I've done. And I think you guys will really like them, especially like the later volumes. Be going crazy, man. But so for volume 1, I did it on this movie that I saw on Hulu one night. I wasn't recommended it by anybody. I don't even really think anybody's seen it, at least not in my immediate friend group. I know that there are, people who have seen it, but it's very like it's a hidden gem, so I wanted to evaluate it because a lot of those movies, they have, the best plots, the best stories, the best things going on within them. It's called The Alchemist Cookbook. And basically, I'm going to talk about how it is an example of mass spell casting and culture creation within the so-called Black community. So let's get into it, man. The Alchemist Cookbook. While browsing the horror section of Hulu, I stumbled upon an interesting film titled The Alchemist Cookbook. I never heard of the film before, but it caught my attention, and I decided to watch it. The film was actually really good. I've always had a soft spot for indie films. And I have a greater soft spot for them now because as an independent artist, with my YouTube, my Instagram, my blogs, my stories, the book I'm in the process of writing, it's all by chance. I don't have a team. I don't have even an assistant. I don't have anybody with me. I'm doing everything on my own. Not on my own, because, I do have an assistant. Or not an assistant. I have a leader, a mentor. I have the best mentor that anybody could ever ask for. The Most High, obviously. Anyway, continuing. I appreciate you, Dad, for helping me write my articles and for giving me this gift. Hopefully I'm using it in a way that brings you glory, makes you happy. However, I believe under this quirky guise lie truly sinister undertones. There are a number of esoteric themes presented in the film that are imperative for so-called Black men to understand. I want to use this film to analyze the examples and effects of esoteric themes propagated in the so-called Black community. I know I haven't gotten to that article yet. It's Slaves to Gods Volume 2, where, but basically I'm saying, like, I know once my, channel starts to gain momentum, people are probably going to ask why I say so-called black and why I put the term black in parentheses. Because black is not a race. It is a created concept. And I know, like, some people say that, but they don't really fully understand the entire scope and the truly witchcraft and mind control that comes with that term. But we will be discussing that once I release Culture Creation Volume 2. And that should be out within the next couple weeks. Those articles always seem to do well. And Slaves to Gods Volume 1 was, I think, my second most viewed YouTube video. So people seem to like that stuff. I've noticed that. And my content is geared towards so-called black men, if you haven't noticed already. I went to Morehouse. I went to this program called Reach growing up. That was essentially a summer school for only so-called black boys. It was 5 weeks in the summer. We had math, English, and science in the morning. And then we had our electives and rec in the afternoon. And I have so many close ties with my brothers still to this day. I still hang out with my brothers. I still see them. And I met them when we were, 11, 12 years old. We were in 5th and 6th grade. And I'm 22 now, and I still see them. So that is who my content is geared towards. Not to, say that you can't watch my content if you don't fit within that demographic. But just so you guys know. Anyway, chemist turned alchemist. The story takes place in the backwoods of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Shout out to my fellow Midwest kids. I don't know if you guys know this or if I've said this before, but I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. So, born and raised. I'm really from Cleveland. Like, if you're from Cleveland, people be from the suburbs. They be from Solon and Parma and Aurora trying to claim Cleveland. Nah, bro, like, I really grew up in Cleveland. Right by the Word Church in Carews Park and that Heinen's Warehouse. Yeah, I'm really from there. I'm really that guy. But anyway, shout out to my Midwest kids. The film is uniquely broken up into 8 chapters, during which we witness the downfall of our protagonist named Sean, former chemist, now self-ordained alchemist. You should be seeing a familiar theme if you read my first article about how the Nutty Professor predicted DNA manipulation. In that article, I briefly discussed how alchemy and chemistry are essentially the same thing. Chemistry is just alchemy void of the spiritual aspect. Something I like about my articles in general, but especially like my earlier ones, is how I was still able to, I guess, make connections and make ties between each article. I think it, displayed that I have a firm understanding of what I'm writing, and it gives people an incentive and a reason to go back and to read all of my articles and to consume all my content. It's kind of like a puzzle. You can read one article and you can definitely get a lot of information from it, but there are certain things that, like, you have to read the other articles to completely comprehend the concepts or my viewpoint on certain things. So good job, young by chance. So this is a quote from encyclopedia.com regarding alchemy and chemistry. The field that had the most direct impact on the birth of modern chemistry was alchemy. Alchemy was a combination of philosophy, religion, and primitive science whose chief goal was the perfection of matter. This goal included the conversion of metals into gold and the discovery of a potion that would cure all disease. Many scientists of the time viewed chemistry as a pseudoscience, much like astrology and palm reading are viewed today. The work of Robert Boyle helped to change this impression and led to the establishment of chemistry as an independent modern science. So, hold on, let me put my phone on Don't Disturb, because, whenever I record a video, somebody want to text me some crazy stuff or I'll get it's just, just a distraction. Sorry about that little pause. Anyway, once again, I put this picture in the Nutty Professor video, but you can see how this is alchemical knowledge, but you see these chemistry terms and you got the beakers and the, changing elements and coagulating certain substances to get new elements. They're the same thing. It's just chemistry is void of the spiritual aspect. They don't tell you, like, what the point of it is, or really that they're, trying to channel spirits and trying to control demons. But we'll get into that later in the article. Sean's motivation for embracing the dark arts stems from his pursuit of the Philosopher's Stone. If you read The Alchemist or have any understanding of ideologies like Hermeticism and Wicca, then you'll know that the Philosopher's Stone provided a method for turning lead into gold. That book, The Alchemist, I've read The Alchemist, everybody says, this is the best book ever. Like, it was cool, it was a good book. I think it's a little overrated. But, there are a lot of, whoever, I think his name is like Paul Cabello or whatever. He's definitely like an occultist, allegedly. But, it's very easy to see like where people get their ideas from and like just the themes that he was talking about, with the old man, the two stones. I forget what they were called, but those are actually in the Bible. And him, talking to wind spirits and things like that. He's definitely, he might not be an occultist per se, but he definitely has an understanding and an awareness of occult themes and philosophies. But continuing, Sean, unenchanted with the world of haves and have-nots, decides to embrace witchcraft and black magic in a wicked get-rich-quick scheme. Overall, Sean is an example of the man-child archetype we see in abundance among so-called black men. I am going to be talking about that in Slaves to Gods Volume 3. Yo, when I release this Slaves to God series and it's full, y'all gonna love it, man. But I basically had touched on the Moynihan report. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Just wait till you see the article. Make sure y'all check out that video, man. We're gonna discuss like that phenomenon. I call them Peter Pans, boys that never grew up. Sean makes a literal deal with the devil in an attempt to secure earthly riches, a common story throughout recorded history and one with a consistent ending. I don't want to spoil the film, but obviously this doesn't turn out well for our protagonist. And we are once again reminded that every exchange in life comes with a price, especially spiritual ones. Yo, I swear, no, I'm not going to blame the devil because, it's just funny how when I record videos, like everything just seems to not go wrong, but things just start to pop up. Like, why is this happening right now? And, so we have these pictures here. You can kind of see like, yeah, he was bugged out, bro. Like you got to watch the movie, bro. He's bugged out. So next we'll move on to inner demons. First, consider the theme of mental health and how it is presented in the film. Sean's initial mental lapses occur soon after he stops taking his medication. This is the catalyst for his rapid descent into madness and spiritual wickedness. As he continues to reject his medicine, we see his insanity intensify. He goes from making simple potions and spells to sacrificing animals and pulling out his own teeth in deeper, more twisted rituals. Dang, I kind of spoiled some stuff, but I'll put a spoiler warning in the description. Obviously, the intended message is to stay on your medication, but I've always wondered, is that really the answer? Are drugs and pharmakia a cure to mental illness, or just a band-aid to hold the demons at bay? I find it interesting that the word pharmakia itself translates to witchcraft or sorcery. You can look that up. Understand that mental health science is somewhat of a recent phenomenon. In antiquity, it was understood that everything is spiritual, and that certain spirits could attach themselves to a person and cause all sorts of problems that would be classified today as mental health issues. So things like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression, in antiquity, all those, and I still believe that, those are basically spirits. They're demons who are tormenting people, and because they have a weak spirit or they're doing certain things that are opening gateways and doorways for the demons to have license in their lives. That's why they're experiencing those things. And that's also why, just in my personal experience, I don't know anyone who's on constant depression pills or medication. They never really get better, which is obviously, we know that's not the point of the medical industry. It's not to treat people. But like I said, even before I had a spiritual understanding, I never really saw the benefit in constant medication. I'm not saying everyone with mental health problems is suffering from spiritual warfare, but I am saying that it is extremely possible. Beyond the Bible and other holy texts, some of the most profound thinkers and philosophers of antiquity understood the power of evil spirits. In pagan cultures like ancient Greece, they even worshipped these entities. And great Greek philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle referred to them as daemons. I bet they never taught you that in world history. People use the common colloquialism of fighting demons all the time, but maybe these words have more credence than they realize. So this is a quote from mythology.net that kind of talks about how the Greeks worshipped their daemons, their personal daemons. So a daemon is a semi-divine spirit. usually created when a noble person or a hero dies. These beings act as a go-between for gods and mortals, delivering divine messages and blessings to mortals or reporting bad behavior to the gods. Socrates, the father of Greek philosophy, was famous for claiming that he was born with a personal daemon, who the gods had given to him as a gift. Socrates described his daemon as an internal oracle, meaning that the spirit was part of himself instead of a separate being. The oracle spoke out whenever Socrates was about to behave wrongly, but when he was correct, it said nothing. In this way, Socrates' daemon was a lot like today's conscience, or also something I'm thinking about is like, that common trope of like the angel and the demon on your soldier. And also, I don't know if you guys like anime, but if you watch Hunter x Hunter, during the York New City arc, you have this girl, she's a fortune teller, but whenever she writes her fortune, there's like this entity that pops up and it's really the one writing the fortunes. Like, that's a demon. So a lot of these musicians and authors and actors, athletes, they basically channel demons to help them do things that they normally wouldn't be able to do. There are a lot of celebrities, especially musicians, who talk about how like they get their ideas and lyrics for songs from, they call them muses. But that's just another word for demon. Like I said, like watch Hunter x Hunter, watch that fortune teller girl. That's a perfect example of how demons work. You can't see them. Nobody else can see it. Well, you can't see. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, Plato's most famous student, Aristotle, continued to modify the concept of a daemon. He gave even more power to the spirits, claiming that a person's happiness and character depended on the quality of his daemon. In this way, Aristotle's daemon was a lot like today's demons, which can possess people and control their actions. Another word that I guess people try to use for like demons in modern times is like the ego, but that's a whole nother article for another day. Aristotle passed his concept of the possessive daemon along to Alexander the Great, one of his students. When Alexander rose to power, he encouraged his subjects to worship his daemon rather than worshiping him. This tradition continued well into the height of the Roman Empire, with glorious daemons like Augustus being recycled between leaders and exalted by the public. So with that, I'm thinking, and it's just off the dome, because like I'm really reading and ideas are coming into my head. So, when you have like in Egypt, you have like Ramses and Ramses the First. Like, could those have been demons? Like, is like Ramses or Augustus the name of the demon, and he just continually possesses people? Like, is that what's going on? Like, are these pharaohs, these kings and queens, just vessels who are really just taking on that form of that demon, being reincarnated? As the New Agers would say. I don't know, man. Y'all think about it. Think about that, though, for real. That's crazy. The tradition continued well into the height of the Roman Empire, with glorious daemons like Augustus being recycled between leaders. I'm going to do some more research on that, man. I'd be surprised in my own work sometimes. Not to brag. But anyway, today daemons are rarely discussed by the public. They have been replaced by similar concepts like the conscience, the guardian angel, or the demon. It's nothing new under the sun, y'all. So next we'll talk about familiar spirits. Second thing that you should notice is Sean's close attachment to his cat, ironically named Casper. This is what is known as a familiar spirit. The cat is basically a representation of Sean's personal demon. Cats have always been associated with familiar creatures, along with other animals like spiders, bats, rats, and cats. Bars. I hate cats, bro. Like, I hate cats. I'm much more of a dog guy. But anyway, this is why witches have historically been depicted with black cats as pets, and why these animals are usually associated with evil and spiritual wickedness. This is also why they were venerated in ancient pagan civilizations like Egypt that were based in hermetic principles in witchcraft. So, I think this is from encyclopedia.com as well. Familiar in Western demonology, small animal or imp kept as a witch's attendant, given to her by the devil or inherited from another witch. The familiar was a low-ranking demon that assumed any animal shape, such as a toad, dog, insect, or black cat. Sometimes the familiar was described as a grotesque creature of fantasy, an amalgam of several creatures. Dang it, I'm going off the dome again. So a couple weeks ago, I watched I Am Number 4. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. It's kind of an older movie. You kind of got to be in my age range. But he essentially has this, it's a dog, right? In the beginning of the film, it's actually a lizard. But then he shapeshifts into a dog. And then at the end, when they're fighting all the monsters, he transforms into like this weird like dog dinosaur thing. But that's literally like what I thought about. Like, he literally, like, that's his like demon. That's his like, man, that's crazy, bro. Then obviously, the Egyptians worshipped cats and birds and all the creeping, crawly things that the Most High told us not to worship or make graven images of. But, y'all can keep doing that comedic shit if you want to. Anyway, finally, consider Sean's motivation and ultimate fate. At multiple points in the film, Sean offers his body and soul to the devil. He tempts and patronizes the demon and invites him into his life. Be careful of the spirits you conjure into your own life, and be wary of the power of words. There is a reason we call it spelling. Understand that these spirits are much more powerful than you or any human. I don't care what your local shaman or witch doctor says. There is no negotiating or controlling a demon, and demons are the only spirits that can be conjured. You can't summon or conjure an angel of God. All throughout the Bible, like, we've never seen any of the prophets, not even Jesus, like, conjured angels. Like, the angels come at the call of God. God sends, like, God will call you. He'll send them to you. You can't call them. You can't control or bound, shackle an angel. It doesn't work like that. But you can do it with a demon. Themes of invocation and evocation are repeated in cinema for a reason. Think of all the demonic possession movies you've seen in your life. The spirit world is real, demons are real, and they can exercise power in your life if you allow it. In every horror movie, we see what happens to the characters that don't really believe in the power of evil spirits. It never ends well for them. My advice is to truly meditate on your spiritual values and dissect what your holy doctrine says about things like witchcraft and demons. I know for me personally, the Bible is my guide, and I would recommend reading any of the 4 Gospels to get a better understanding of the role demons play in the lives of humans. Much of the media directed towards the so-called Black community has overt esoteric propaganda, especially the movies and music. I believe the reason they spellcast so heavily on the Black community is because they don't want us to find our true source of power. The Bible is our source, our culture, our history book, which is why they try so hard to defame and change it. They keep trying to lead us down the rabbit hole of witchcraft, ancestor worship, and idolatry for a reason. The powers that be know who we are according to Scripture, and they understand that these practices are opposed to our true culture, which is why they destroyed our history and identity. If y'all want to know more about that, I already have my video up, Slaves to Gods vol.1, Negro Land, where you can learn about, who Black people, so-called Black people in America, truly descend from. We don't come from slaves, and we don't come from Egyptians. But go watch the video. Shout out to Pastor Stephen Darby. Satan always tries to destroy God's creation. Our people have been trapped in the same cycle for generations, and we continue to fall for the same tricks because we don't know who we are. The media tells us over and over that these esoteric pagan belief systems are truly about. Tells us over and over what these esoteric pagan belief systems are truly about. Yet we continue to embrace them. I know many members of our community practice some form of witchcraft, knowingly or not. So-called Black women are especially vulnerable to this propaganda, and many even self-identify as witches. A major reason for this phenomenon is the spells being cast by the mass media. So as you can see, it's all over the place. Like, actually watch this show. You should, I'm not going to tell you to watch it, but, Dolph is still, I still like Dolph, but when he had dropped this album, I was like, oh yeah, no, he's definitely, like, come on, bro. Like, it couldn't be any more clear. Look at that. The one eye symbolism, the upward triangle for the pyramid, for the masculine principle. Even the 3, like, slashes in his eyebrow. Just pure wickedness. And then, of course, you got Cardi B. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's not that hard to understand. Like, it's very obvious. And I don't think people understand how much of an impact these things have on your subconscious, which is why you need to, stay vigilant. I believe the Alchemist cookbook is a great example of spell casting and social engineering. It's important to understand what you're watching and why you're watching it. It's also important to understand the purpose of these satanic, wicked programs. If your mind isn't sharp, you'll fall for the spells. To conclude, I really want you to think about all the movies and TV shows that you watch. Consider why so much media is geared towards indoctrinating the masses to wicked spiritual forces and ideologies. Why is everything about witches, magic, and demons? Is it all by chance? So yeah, that was Culture Creation Volume 1. One of my earlier articles. I need to go back and touch up some of the, I saw a couple of, not typos, but just things that I would like to change. But I usually like to do my articles in, one go, one sitting, be unfiltered, let the ideas come to me. And so yeah, hopefully you guys like that. Like I said, the movie, it was on Hulu. I don't know if it's still there, but if it is still on Hulu, I would highly recommend watching it. There's only 2 characters throughout the whole film. It's kind of a slow burn, but, once it gets rolling, it really gets rolling. But anyway, once again, like always, I appreciate you guys for listening. And I will see you guys in the next video. By chance.